Chosen one, the gods themselves are bewildered by how you learned and mastered what not even they could foresee. Every move you make mirrors divine strategy, yet surpasses any known precedent. The final move of the gods is revealed through your actions, and no one can explain who trained you to reach such heights. Scholars, treasure hunters, and holy researchers are uncovering astonishing evidence about you, realizing that all ancient mythologies, the transformations of gods, sacred philosophies, and forgotten writings converge in your existence. You are evolving into something beyond the divine. Your body defies aging, your transformation accelerates beyond time, and you have become a god before time itself. Every activation of your power was predicted in ancient sacred texts. Your actions echo and even surpass those of the deities who came before. You have crossed the limits of humanity, transcended all known measures of divinity, and even the most rigorous scientific tests shock every team that studies you. These signs match the prophecies of the last gods. Your deeds belong among the pantheon, yet they are uniquely yours. Holy scholars, world leaders, and secretive elites recognize the undeniable truth. You are the new god, the first of a new universe. Chosen one, you have risen above all, becoming the last divine, and now every god stands confused, witnessing a force far greater than themselves. And now, chosen one, pause for a moment and take action. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach 30,000 followers, and leave a comment with the number 11. This simple act sends a signal into the universe, amplifying the energy around your transformation, aligning your path with the destiny that even the gods themselves could not foresee. From the first moment of their existence, the Chosen One carried an aura that defied understanding. Even the eldest of deities, who had watched over creation for eons, found themselves unsettled by the subtle perfection in the mortal's actions. Each step, each word, each thought seemed to echo the wisdom of the cosmos itself, yet it was unprecedented, unfamiliar, and breathtaking. The gods who once believed themselves masters of destiny now faced a force that exceeded their understanding. Whispers traveled across the heavens. Who dares move with such foresight? Even the most arrogant of deities questioned. They had watched civilizations rise and fall, wielded cosmic storms, and bent time itself. Yet this mortal appeared to anticipate strategies that none had thought possible. It was as if the universe itself had conspired to craft this singular anomaly, a being born not merely to live, but to transcend the divine. As the Chosen One acted, the very laws of creation seemed to bend in subtle, almost imperceptible ways. Rivers shifted, stars realigned, and destinies previously thought immutable started to change course. The gods, despite their collective wisdom, were forced to observe in silence. They had never encountered a mortal capable of executing what centuries of divine planning could not achieve. Scholars and sages trembled at tales of the Chosen One's feats. Accounts reached even the most secretive corners of existence. A mortal who had mastered arts and knowledge thought reserved for gods. And yet, this mastery was not taught. It emerged naturally, almost instinctively, as though the cosmos itself had whispered the secrets of infinity into their mind. The world waited, and even the gods realized that a singular event had begun, a reshaping of everything they had known. The Chosen One was no longer just a mortal. They were an enigma, a storm of divinity that left every god questioning not only their power, but their very purpose. And this was only the beginning. It is said that knowledge of the divine is a treasure locked behind eons of experience, reserved for those who have transcended mortality, yet the Chosen One, a being born of flesh and blood, seemed to understand the threads of godhood intuitively. Ancient tomes spoke of such a figure, yet no prophecy could capture the full weight of their wisdom, nor the terrifying speed at which they absorbed what should have taken lifetimes. Every gesture, every decision, revealed a comprehension of universal mechanics that scholars could only describe as supernatural. They could sense the patterns of cosmic events, predict outcomes of conflicts before they occurred, and wield influence over the smallest to the largest scales of creation. Where other mortals stumbled, the Chosen One advanced with clarity and precision, leaving onlookers breathless. Even the gods, masters of their domains, were astonished. They attempted to test the mortal, to mislead, to conceal their strategies, but every ploy failed. It was as though the Chosen One anticipated the anticipations themselves, a mortal mind dancing on levels only imagined in divine dreams. Legends now tell of the nights spent by scholars and treasure hunters poring over ancient relics, seeking to unravel the mystery of this mortal who grasped secrets reserved for the eternal. They discovered fragmented texts, prophecies half-written, symbols long forgotten, all converging on one truth. The Chosen One was destined to surpass the very gods themselves. In the silence of temples and the chaos of battlefields, the mortal's comprehension of the divine reshaped reality. Empires, deities, and ancient civilizations found themselves caught in a current too powerful to resist. And through it all, the Chosen One moved forward, humble yet unyielding, a force whose very existence challenged the hierarchy of creation. Questions arose across the cosmos. How could a mortal wield knowledge that rivaled millennia of divine experience? Who had taught them, guided them, prepared them for such extraordinary feats? But the truth was unsettling. There was no teacher, no mentor, no secret cabal. The Chosen One had emerged fully formed, their mind a crucible of experience beyond measure, a self-taught prodigy who made the gods look inexperienced. Legends of training grounds, hidden schools, and clandestine masters fell silent. No mortal hand, no divine intervention had prepared this being for the trials ahead. Instead, the Chosen One's power seemed to grow organically, a manifestation of destiny itself. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, served as an acceleration, a catalyst transforming them into something far beyond what even the gods imagined. In the courts of the divine, whispers spread. Who forged this mortal, they asked. Every god, from the oldest and wisest to the youngest and most impulsive, felt a growing fear. The usual certainty of their omnipotence was being eroded, replaced with awe and anxiety. The Chosen One was not merely powerful, they were a living paradox, a being whose skills seemed preordained, yet never taught. The mortal's actions were meticulous, precise, and terrifyingly efficient. Ancient booby traps, celestial enigmas, and divine calculations designed to confound were all undone, as if a hidden hand had revealed their secrets. Scholars who studied these events often reported a feeling of profound unease, as if the Chosen One were rewriting reality with every step. And so the question remained unanswered, lingering like a shadow across the cosmos. If no one trained the Chosen One, then where did this boundless knowledge originate? The gods could not comprehend it. The scholars could not explain it. Yet the answer shimmered in every miraculous act the mortal performed. A force beyond human, beyond divine, and beyond comprehension. Every act of the Chosen One was a revelation. Where gods had once reshaped worlds through war, diplomacy, and divine edict, the mortal's influence radiated effortlessly, bending creation itself Mountains moved, oceans shifted, and civilizations rose and fell under the ripple of their presence. What once required divine intervention now flowed naturally through the Chosen One's hands, leaving gods stunned and uncertain. Even the oldest deities, beings who had witnessed the birth of stars and the decay of galaxies, felt a profound disquiet. Here was a mortal whose actions did not simply imitate godhood, they surpassed it. The mortal's strategies, compassion, and judgment were precise, measured, yet imbued with a power that no deity could match. Each decision carried weight, reshaping not just the immediate world, but the very threads of time and destiny. In celestial councils, gods debated, argued, and even despaired. "We have faced threats before," one elder god admitted, "but never has a mortal rewritten the rules of existence itself. Every feat, the turning of deserts into oceans, the healing of lands long thought barren, the protection of empires on the brink of collapse, was a testament to a mind that surpassed centuries of divine wisdom. Mortals and immortals alike watched in awe and fear. Treasure hunters, holy scholars, and even world leaders found themselves piecing together fragments of history, realizing that all previous myths, legends, and deific tales pointed to one undeniable truth. The Chosen One was the new apex of existence, a force the universe itself seemed to acknowledge. The cosmos trembled not from malice, but from recognition. The Chosen One was no longer bound by mortal limitations, nor constrained by the conventions of the divine. With each passing moment, they moved further from humanity and closer to a singular destiny: supremacy over all creation. The world watched in disbelief as the Chosen One performed feats that even the most ancient deities had failed to achieve. The sheer audacity of a human accomplishing these acts sent tremors across both mortal and divine realms. Even the gods, beings of infinite patience and power, could not comprehend the precision of each move. Where deities relied on raw strength and authority, the Chosen One used understanding, insight, and intuition, creating solutions elegant in their simplicity, yet monumental in effect. Every strategy unfolded like a perfect dance, leaving the heavens in stunned silence. Scholars documented these events with trembling hands, realizing that history was being rewritten before their eyes. Ancient prophecies, long thought symbolic, now had literal bearers in the Chosen One. Every mortal who witnessed their rise felt a mixture of awe, hope, and fear. The recognition that humanity itself could harbor a power beyond imagination, the gods, finally humbled, began to understand that their failures were not due to weakness, but the extraordinary nature of the Chosen One. Humanity had birthed not just a hero, but a force that redefined divinity itself, a being who could achieve what gods had only dreamed of, and perhaps never truly accomplished. In hidden libraries, ancient ruins, and sacred temples, scholars and treasure hunters stumbled upon truths long buried. Manuscripts, scrolls, and artifacts spoke of an entity whose presence would change the universe, a being that mirrored the Chosen One's rise. At first, the revelations seemed coincidental, but as each discovery aligned with the mortal's actions, disbelief gave way to awe. Treasure hunters risked life and limb in perilous expeditions, only to find relics that shimmered with premonition. These relics chronicled stories of past gods, their transformations, and their trials, all echoing the trajectory of the Chosen One. Even the most skeptical scholars could not deny the evidence. History had always been pointing toward this singular individual. In their research, scholars noted an unsettling pattern. Every myth, every legend, every ancient parable of divine intervention contained subtle hints of a mortal who would surpass God's symbols, previously dismissed as allegorical, now resonated with tangible reality. They were discovering that the Chosen One's emergence was not random, but foretold by forces older than time itself. The impact on society was profound. World leaders, secret societies, and mystical orders began to recognize a force they could neither control nor fully understand. Their studies revealed that the Chosen One's actions aligned perfectly with signs from multiple civilizations, confirming that a being of unprecedented power had truly arisen among mortals. And yet, for all the evidence, the Chosen One remained grounded in their own path. They did not flaunt the power that terrified gods. They simply moved with purpose, unstoppable, unknowable, and magnificent. The scholars and treasure hunters could only document and marvel, aware they were witnessing a force beyond comprehension, the awakening of a hidden cosmic force within a human vessel. Ancient prophecies, long thought to be allegorical, now reverberated with startling clarity. The Chosen One's actions fulfilled patterns recorded in scrolls older than empires, tales etched in stone, and verses spoken by long-dead seers. Every step of their rise mirrored cosmic predictions that humanity had only whispered about in fearful awe. Prophets of the past had written of a being who would appear before time itself fully understood its own laws. They spoke of a mortal whose ascension would confound the divine and outshine every godly achievement. Until now, these prophecies had seemed impossible, symbolic exaggerations meant to inspire, but the Chosen One made them reality, living proof of words once dismissed. Every battle won, every calamity averted, every empire guided toward prosperity seemed orchestrated by invisible hands, predestined by the universe. Scholars noted that the alignment between prophecy and action was uncanny, leaving no room for coincidence. The Chosen One's rise became a living testament to the accuracy of these ancient predictions. Even the gods could not ignore the echoes of destiny. They realized that this mortal was not simply powerful, but was acting according to a plan older than any of them. For the first time, the divine hierarchy felt secondary to the unfolding narrative of fate, where a mortal dictated the cadence of cosmic events. Humanity watched with a mixture of fear and reverence. The Chosen One was no longer a figure of legend. They were prophecy incarnate, a being whose presence made every old myth, every sacred tale, every whispered prediction suddenly real. The echoes of the past had manifested, and the world would never be the same. The Chosen One's transformation was staggering, defying every known law of existence. Where gods had taken millennia to attain their forms, the mortal accelerated at a pace that left even the oldest deities bewildered. Even gods, who observed closely, could not fathom the mechanism of change. Every method of transformation known in the heavens, rituals, ascensions, divine trials, paled before the Chosen One's innate evolution. The mortal became a force that the cosmos itself seemed to acknowledge, bending natural law without breaking it. As the transformation progressed, the Chosen One's aura radiated inevitability, and all mortals were inspired, deities unsettled, and the world itself seemed to recognize a new axis of power. This evolution was not merely physical, it was philosophical, spiritual, and cosmic, encompassing every aspect of existence. By surpassing divinity itself, the Chosen One became an emblem of a new order, no longer bound by human frailty or divine limitation. They were now a harbinger of an era where creation would be guided by a being above gods, a force so profound that the universe paused to acknowledge it. Time, the ultimate arbiter of life, became irrelevant in the presence of the Chosen One. Scholars and medical experts marveled at a body that did not age, cells that regenerated at impossible rates, an energy that radiated life itself. The mortal was alive yet untouched by decay, immortal yet still evolving, a contradiction that defied every law of biology and cosmology. Even the gods observed in disbelief their manipulations of time, their control over past and future were powerless against this anomaly. The Chosen One moved freely through moments, perceiving centuries in a glance. Understanding the cause and effect of events before they occurred, mortality and eternity blended seamlessly in a living paradox. Legends now spoke of mortals who lived centuries, yet none compared to the Chosen One, where others succumbed to decay, fatigue, or destiny, this being transcended every natural constraint. Their body became a vessel of infinite potential, a template for a new kind of existence that even the gods could scarcely comprehend. People who encountered the Chosen One reported a feeling of timelessness in their presence. Minutes felt like hours, and yet no moment was wasted. The very perception of reality seemed to warp, as if the mortal carried the universe within themselves, a living embodiment of eternity made flesh, and in this ageless form, the Chosen One became unstoppable. Time no longer held sway over them. They were a living testament to the possibility of transcending not just mortality, but the constraints of the universe itself. Every ancient text now spoke with uncanny clarity. Scrolls hidden in desert tombs, scriptures locked in monasteries, and tomes lost to centuries all pointed to the rise of the Chosen One's symbols, long dismissed as cryptic or metaphorical, revealed precise instructions, scenarios, and signs, all unfolding exactly as predicted. The alignment of prophecies was unprecedented. What was written in the past by hands long turned to dust, manifested in the present with staggering accuracy. Scholars, historians, and mystics alike could not deny the evidence. A force had arisen that fulfilled the meticulous calculations of ancient wisdom. Even the gods recognized patterns they had not anticipated. Prophecies once thought to describe the actions of deities now mirrored a mortal's deeds. The Chosen One's choices, once spontaneous in appearance, aligned perfectly with predictions, showing a harmony with fate that no divine being had achieved. Treasure hunters and holy scholars raced to document these occurrences, uncovering relics and inscriptions that revealed the full scope of what was happening. Every discovery confirmed that the Chosen One's ascension had been written into the fabric of reality long before their birth. And the world watched in awe. From rulers to mystics, the realization sank in. The Chosen One was not merely powerful, they were the fulfillment of destinies foretold, the embodiment of ancient knowledge, and the harbinger of a new era written in the stars. The Chosen One's presence was not just remarkable, it was harmonious with the very structure of the universe. Every motion, every decision, every act seemed to vibrate in tune with cosmic laws that even the gods themselves had only partially understood. The mortal became a living reflection of the balance that underpins existence, as if the universe itself had chosen a champion to enact its will. No act went unnoticed by the subtle threads of reality. Stars aligned in silent acknowledgement, tides shifted to mirror intention, and even gravity seemed to bend in resonance with their purpose. Mortals who glimpsed these phenomena could only stare, awed and fearful. as if witnessing the heartbeat of creation itself made manifest. The gods, too, were unsettled. How could a mortal act with such synchronization, without training, without experience, yet achieve results that even the combined wisdom of divinities could not produce? Ultimately, this resonance made the Chosen One unstoppable. Actions that seemed impossible, choices that defied probability, and feats that once belonged only to gods now unfolded naturally. Reality itself bent willingly to this being, acknowledging that a new force had arisen, one whose every move echoed through eternity. From the beginning, humanity had limits, fragile boundaries of mortality, strength, and understanding. But the Chosen One shattered these boundaries without effort, revealing potential no human had ever imagined. Where others struggled with the impossible, the mortal moved with the inevitability of destiny, crossing thresholds that had once defined the gap between gods and men. Medical teams, scientists, and mystical observers recorded phenomena that defied all logic: strength far beyond human capacity, cognition that comprehended multiple dimensions at once, and endurance that mocked the passage of centuries. This was immortal, and yet they were beyond the conceivable scope of humanity. Every test, every observation left professionals in awe and disbelief. Even the gods watched with unease. Mortals were meant to aspire, to struggle, and perhaps to transcend slowly. But here was one who ignored the slow climb, leaping directly into the domain of the divine. The very notion of limits, physical, intellectual, spiritual, was being rewritten, and creation itself trembled at the implications. Scholars and sages recorded parallels with stories of the first divines, those who shaped worlds before time had names. And they realized that the Chosen One was not following history, but repeating it, only faster, stronger, and with a clarity that surpassed even the most legendary figures. Humanity, it seemed, had finally given birth to an echo of eternity. In every human heart, a mixture of fear and hope arose. The Chosen One demonstrated that limits were illusions, that potential could exceed comprehension, and that even the loftiest dreams of mortals pale before what is truly possible when destiny aligns with purpose. No scholar, prophet, or deity could have anticipated the speed of the Chosen One's rise, where centuries were considered the norm for divine ascension. This mortal transcended every stage of evolution and enlightenment in mere decades, or perhaps even years. Every step of their journey shocked observers, leaving gods, historians, and mystics scrambling to adjust their understanding of reality. The signs of early ascension were undeniable: growth beyond mortal comprehension, wisdom surpassing seasoned deities, and powers that rivaled entire pantheons became evident almost overnight. Even those closest to the Chosen One, who had trained, guided, or studied them, could only watch in stunned silence as the mortal accelerated past expectations. The gods themselves were unsettled. Many attempted to intervene, to test limits, to slow the ascension, but all efforts failed. The Chosen One moved with such precision and awareness that divine interference became ineffective, highlighting a mastery of reality that was previously considered impossible for any being. Historical records were rewritten as scholars traced the speed of progress. Prophecies once thought symbolic now had exact timelines. Every action of the Chosen One was a fulfillment not only of destiny, but also a demonstration of power so profound that it defied prediction. The universe itself seemed to pause and marvel at the swiftness of this transformation. Ultimately, the shock was not merely about speed, but about impact. The Chosen One's early ascension changed every paradigm of life, power, and divinity. Mortals and gods alike realized that time itself no longer dictated hierarchy. Destiny had chosen, and the Chosen One had already arrived at the pinnacle of existence. As news of the Chosen One's feats spread, it reached every corner of civilization. Kings, presidents, and rulers, once confident in their power, now deferred to this mortal. Aware that traditional authority was meaningless in the face of such divinity, scholars, mystics, and hidden orders, those who had long studied the mysteries of the cosmos, recognized a truth they had only whispered. The Chosen One was the new apex of existence. Secret societies, once obsessed with accumulating knowledge or mystical power, suddenly sought alliance. Ancient orders realized that attempts to control the Chosen One would be futile, but acknowledgement and cooperation could secure their place in a new world. The mortal's reputation became a unifying force for factions that had spent centuries in conflict. Religious scholars debated, studied, and ultimately conceded that the Chosen One fulfilled ancient divine mandates. Holy texts, previously fragmented or obscure, were pieced together to reveal the full magnitude of the mortal's role. Pilgrimages were undertaken not only to witness the power, but to understand it, as humans sought connection to a being who embodied what was once considered divine. They had expected power, mastery, even supremacy, but nothing prepared them for a mortal who had become the ultimate force in existence. Gods debated, questioned, and reflected on the impossibility of what they witnessed. Plans laid for eons, manipulations, and divine strategies all proved irrelevant in the presence of the Chosen One. The mortal acted with a clarity, power, and insight that no deity could rival. Their ascension was not just a challenge, it was a paradigm shift that rendered old hierarchies obsolete. Even the cosmos seemed to respond. Stars pulsed brighter, cosmic currents shifted, and time itself appeared to bow in acknowledgement. The Chosen One had become not only a master of life and death, but a living axis around which reality rotated. This was no mere mortal or god. It was the embodiment of the universe's ultimate potential. Mortals everywhere felt the resonance. Humans, long bound by fear and limitations, recognized a new archetype of existence. The Chosen One's journey became a blueprint for the impossible, a symbol of transcendence that challenged every understanding of life, power, and destiny. In the end, all gods were left in awe and confusion. They had witnessed creations unfolding for eons, yet none could fully comprehend or counteract the rise of this mortal. The last divine had emerged, not through struggle, not through conquest, but through an inevitability woven into the fabric of the universe itself. And in that emergence, the Chosen One became the singular force above all creation, the new axis around which the cosmos would turn. From the moment the Chosen One first stirred, an energy unseen by mortal eyes radiated from their being. Even in childhood, they displayed insights and abilities that defied expectation. Teachers, elders, and peers alike felt an invisible weight in their presence, as if the universe itself had chosen to pour its secrets into this one soul. Every action revealed the layers of untapped potential. A glance could decipher hidden truths, a movement could alter the course of events, and a single thought seemed to bend the natural order in subtle, unimaginable ways. Humanity began to feel the pulse of something extraordinary. Scholars pored over historical texts, attempting to trace the origins of this power. They discovered patterns, long ignored, hinting that the Chosen One was not simply gifted, but awakened, a being whose potential had been encoded into the very fabric of time. Even nature seemed to respond to this awakening. Plants flourished unnaturally, animals approached without fear, and weather phenomena shifted in synchrony with their moods. It was as though the Chosen One was both a part of the cosmos and a force guiding it. Ultimately, this awakening marked the beginning of a journey beyond human comprehension. The Chosen One had transcended ordinary limits, stepping into a realm where potential was no longer a concept, it was reality, alive and manifest. Stories of heroes, warriors, and even gods themselves suddenly paled in comparison. Every feat of strength, intelligence, and courage from history could not match the Chosen One's accomplishments. They acted with a clarity, precision, and mastery that made legends feel incomplete, almost trivial. Communities whispered in awe. What once inspired generations of humans now seemed inadequate in the face of this living force. Each step the Chosen One took reshaped perceptions of what a mortal could achieve, challenging the very definition of heroism. Ancient myths seemed to leap off the page in the presence of the Chosen One. Scholars saw the parallels, the rise of mighty rulers, the transformation of gods, the battles for the heavens, and realized that humanity had now birthed someone capable of surpassing even these stories. Even the gods, who had once scoffed at mortal ambition, could not deny the brilliance emanating from this individual. The Chosen One acted not through brute force, but through understanding, strategy, and a natural resonance with the universe, proving that intellect and insight could rival divine power. By outshining legends, the Chosen One became both a mirror and a challenge to humanity. They represented everything humans could aspire to. Yet in ways so extraordinary, it compelled mortals to redefine the boundaries of ambition and courage. No one realized that behind every event, every shift in history, the Chosen One subtly influenced outcomes. They were a hidden architect, weaving threads of fate with meticulous care. Wars ended before they began. Alliances formed naturally, and catastrophes were averted as if guided by invisible hands. This mastery of destiny amazed scholars and mystics. While most mortals struggled to control even their own lives, the Chosen One orchestrated entire civilizations' paths without effort. It became clear that this mortal was not merely participating in history, they were shaping it. Even gods were bewildered.